Good afternoon and welcome to Ministry Shift today. Today we're going to be thinking about outreach and how we're doing outreach in the lockdown. I'm Reverend Mary Smith, and to think about our questions today, we've got Malcolm Mycock,
Hello.
we've got Alex Wolvers, and
Hi.
we're lucky enough to have two new newbies today. So we've got Marg Mattox. And could you tell us a little bit about where you are and who you are and what you're up to?
Okay, so my name's Marg, and I'm the vicar of Codsall and Codsallwood, and I've been here about 2 years now, moving from Lichfield through to back home into Wolverhampton. And well, I'm doing what a lot of vicars are doing at the moment: a lot of funerals and a lot of online stuff.
That's
So it's
fabulous.
been crazy. Yes, it is.
Wonderful. And we've also got the fabulous Jeff Eze with us today. So could you tell us where you are and what you've been up to?
Hello, my name is Reverend Jeffrey Eze. I'm team vicar of Stoke-upon-Trent and Fenton, working primarily at Stoke Minster and All Saints Church in Hanley. And I've been up to what some other of my colleagues have been up to, mainly funerals.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Now, today we're going to be thinking about outreach. And I want to particularly start by thinking about what outreach we've been doing and who's been doing it. Has it been us, or have we been getting other people to have a go? So I'm going to ask Malcolm, will you start us off?
Yeah, sure. So outreach. We've been doing a few different things. We've been doing a number of things online, which have been quite good. We've been doing a course called Urban Catechism, and we've actually managed to bring some people in who are brand new. Well, actually, I won't even call them Christians, to be honest with you. But I guess the interesting thing is that the people who've started coming to that are people who sort of our congregation have connected with and kind of invited along. So that's been fantastic. I've been really impressed, actually, sort of how a congregation's kind of, really kind of shared faith online and the effect that's had. So it's been great.
Oh, that's wonderful. So that's sort of evangelism type outreach, is that? Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess another thing is I've been out sort of doing pop-up church around the streets of Abbey Alton.
That sounds fabulous.
Well, yeah. Well, it's basically loudspeaker in the back of the car and saying a prayer, singing a hymn, and just saying hello, just lifting spirits. Literally 10 minutes, so no gathering. People come to the windows, and most people have been kind and thrown nothing at me.
But some people have. No.
Only insults. No. No.
What's outreach look like for you, Marg?
Well, I suppose we've got two angles to it, really. There's the kind of individual stuff that's going on, which, as I say, they join us, so there's existing groups. And I've noticed there's a lot of connectedness happening there, and where things have been needed to be done, they seem to be being done within the groups and with little connectedness to me, really. I think the other outreach, the biggest area, I think, has been our online presence. And that's been phenomenal experience, really. So Sunday services, a midweek children's story and craft idea. I've found that I probably now am worthy of a Blue Peter badge. I keep saying I can't decide whether I should have a BAFTA or a Blue Peter badge, one or the other. But it's taken you out of your comfort zones, but it's been good fun, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
So that's sort of that's evangelism type. Is it meeting with new people who wouldn't ordinarily be at church? So I wonder whether there's also a sort of social action type of an outreach, whether anybody's been up to that. I know I've heard of churches that are getting really stuck in with food banks and other things during the lockdown. I don't know whether you've been involved with much social action there, Alex.
Well, with the small community where we live, it's a lot of old people. So we've been trying to make sure that everybody can get food if they need it. and also just checking on neighbours, making sure everybody's okay and safe and well. And we're a fairly small church group because we're a fresh expression and we're fairly new. So it's it's community really for us. So everybody's involved in that, just checking on neighbours, making sure everyone's okay, doing food shops if needed, and just being a visual face out there, on dog walks, just from a social distance, saying how you doing, offering to pray as we're going around the village, and just making sure that we're seen and around the place.
Absolutely. One of the things that we've been doing here is that we've linked with the Telford and Wrekin Council to put together the people who want to help and the people who need help. So we've been having a phone line for people to volunteer, and also those who are stuck at home and really need prescriptions or essentials. And actually, one of the things that I noticed was that with everything that's normal ministerial life, I don't have all that much time to be manning a phone line, so I've been delegating that to other people in my team, but actually a lot of the work that I find that I've been doing in terms of outreach has been quite me centered in terms of things online or things in the community. I don't know whether you feel that that's the same, or whether you have been able to organize or take it on, or whether that's felt like a good balance. How have you felt that's been, Malcolm?
Well, yeah, I suppose initially perhaps starting things up initially, but actually trying to delegate a lot and had people sort of volunteering to get involved and encouraging people. Actually, I think some people have found it easier actually to do something online than perhaps up front in church. And I kind of think that's quite a positive thing. And I kind of pray that that's actually going to bring them on in general. And perhaps when we get back in church, they'll perhaps be inspired and, built up to do a bit more. So been trying to share it out, and amazing, taking responsibility of, we shared around, we kind of split the congregation up and give a X amount of numbers, and that's where it really actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think in terms of outreach, though, it's quite difficult to get people to be taking a lead on that when you can't go out and physically meet people. So I wonder whether our outreach has changed at all during the lockdown period. Are there any people who think, actually my outreach has continued, it's the same as it was, or whether we have had to put a stop to things? Jeff, what's your take on that?
Certainly for me, hearing all that you guys have done, it's been absolutely fantastic. Our church, and myself as well, we've taken a complete and utter step back and continued to link in with people through certainly the only offices that we're able to do at the moment, primarily funerals. I found for myself personally that I've taken the pandemic as a time to reflect and to think about what the role of the church is right now, and also what it could be when we emerge out of it as well. However, taking that all into consideration, I found very powerful the ministry of the funeral office. And furthermore, I found that families have really taught me a lot about dignity, about patience, and about love as well, when they've had to, under the circumstances, put into the ground or into some kind of cremation their loved ones who they have loved deeply. And so in some respects, as much as there have been an outreach from my end, there's been an inreach into me. And I've begun to reflect and learn from them. So the rhythm of our outreach, which was completely and utterly minimal anyway, hasn't changed. But certainly there's a reflective period, an Easter Saturday, you could say, which is sort of come over certainly my ministry and that of the church.
Absolutely. I think this really is a time for us to think about the outreach that we regularly do. And is that something that we are, able to connect with now, or something that we need to rethink because of this? And actually, the success of some of our online outreach. Marg, you were talking a little bit to me earlier about some of your online outreach and how you were
Yes.
connecting with people?
Yeah. Well, I think I made the decision from the very beginning that this was our opportunity to connect with people who didn't come to church, on the understanding that I had to offer enough for those who do. So we have quite a short service on a Sunday morning. It lasts no more than half an hour. But what I wanted to do with it was the most I could do to connect the community, keep them ticking along, really. So we've had a variety of people who we've invited to record parts of the service, the gospel reading, or maybe a particular one-off thing. So a few Sundays ago, Bishop Clive read the gospel for us, which he kindly recorded, sent along. And last week we had a BBC News presenter do the gospel, and we had a local sort of young celebrity sing a song for us. And this week we've got the chair of governors doing the gospel reading, and the choir, the local school are doing their school song. And somehow it's kept that interest and stimulus, and people are wondering who they're going to see next week. It's a bit like keeping them on a cliffhanger, really, you know. But I think it's meant that within the local community, those who don't come to church are having the opportunity to see church for as it could be, inclusive. We've got a number of members of the community who have seen us, who are housebound or work on Sundays, and suddenly have found themselves able to worship with us every Sunday.
Yeah, I
And
found people telling me that they're really enjoying being able
yeah,
to be in church when they haven't been for a long time.
yes,
But
yeah,
outreach, we don't have to be limited by our locality, do we? We don't
no.
have to be even limited by the UK. Alex, what is it that you've been thinking about in terms of outreach?
I mean, my heart's very much abroad as well. I spent a lot of my adult life in Asia, and one thing that I've been challenged for, and I want to challenge a church about, is the fact that what's happening in our country, it's horrendous, and I don't want to undermine what's happening here, but what the COVID impact worldwide is terrible. The UN is predicting that the number of people of starvation will double because of what's happening with COVID-19. And, the poverty that's going to hit places like Sri Lanka and in parts of India because of what's happening. And I just want us not just to look inwards. We need to look outwards as well. Acts speaks about starting in Jerusalem, then Judea, then Samaria, then the rest of the world. And yes, we do have to care for the people around us. Yes, we do have to care for what's going on in our country, but that shouldn't be mutually exclusive of thinking about what's happening in the rest of the world either. And so I don't want us as a church to close our gates, and think of just ourselves, when in fact, Zoom, internet can actually reach us to the other sides of the world as well. So I've been challenged to think, particularly in this last week, about let's open our reach even further and thinking how we can be serving our brothers and sisters and God's creation around the world as well as just locally.
Well, I think we're just about out of time. I really wanted to find out what we're going to carry on through into the post-lockdown period, but we don't have much time. So very quick, short sentences if anybody's got a really quick thought they want to add. I think I'm going to say continue videoing.
Yes, continue online. Let's serve those that are outside of our walls.
Zoom for this urban catechism, Mark? Are you going to continue that after?
I think we are, yeah, because I think many people are sort of housebound, can't come out, or are a bit nervous at church, and it's linking in with new people, so definitely.
Fabulous. Is there anything else anybody would like to say before we say farewell this afternoon?
I think I just want to say that for me, it was evidence that the Holy Spirit was already working through the church, and that when this happened, we we went and did something about it. We didn't just sit down and say, well, this isn't for us. We did something, and I think that to me is evidence of the work of the Holy Spirit.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We have been Ministry Shift thinking about outreach from church. Please do comment below, like, share, and tell people that you think might be interested in the show to come and comment on what we talked about. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.